Okay, this is the introductory lecture part two for JTC 100 Media in Society. And again, we are just in the process of welcoming you to the class. Had a bit of an introduction just before in part one. And on this one, I think we'll talk a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of the course. And so there I am. I'm Joe Champ. I'm the main instructor for the class. There's my email, joseph.champ@colostate.edu. If you're ever physically on campus at Fort Collins and you need to make an appointment with me, I'm in C220 of the Clark Building, a beautiful building on the CSU campus. Actually, it's not. Or we can set up a phone call or a virtual meeting of some kind. Just let me know. Usually it takes me about 24 hours to respond to an email, and then even within a couple of days we can have that meeting. And if it's critical, we can do it sooner than that. And by the way, that's not me, but I wish I looked like that. Okay. So the textbook, Media and Culture, Mass Communication in a Digital Age by Campbell, Martin, and Fabus. It's a digital textbook, and we've got all kinds of digital related materials online through the publisher's website for Macmillan. 11th edition. All the instructions on how to access all of this stuff are on Canvas. It's in the syllabus. Again, if you're having any kind of big issues with the text or with the quizzes, I'm really not technical support. So if you ask me something, essentially I've got to just contact the publisher. So you might as well cut out the middleman, which is me, and just go to them immediately. And what I would really recommend is they'll say that first they want you to go through this kind of help page. But if you really want quick action, I guess if you call their technical support number at 1-800-936-6899, then you're talking to a human. They will get on your case right away to figure out what's going on, and they'll give you a ticket number. So save that, and if you continue to have any problems, eventually you can give that to me. I've got a little more power. I can push that along to the publishers, and we'll try to solve your problem. But generally, they're a pretty good outfit, and everything's working pretty well with those guys. Okay, what's the purpose of the course? It's a gateway course for journalism and media communication majors. So it's majors and pre-majors. So some of you may be planning to seek this major. But it's also a university core curriculum elective. So that brings in a lot of people from outside of journalism and media communication. It's a behavioral and social science elective. It meets transfer requirements for GT pathways. And so don't worry, if you're not a journalism and media communication major, you'll still get a lot out of this. You'll still find it interesting. I think largely because we're all embedded within this mediated world, as we saw in part one when I was talking about the talkie toy. I mean, we're all kind of networked now. We're all part of the media world. So you'll find this interesting. Canvas. All the materials, of course, are online, especially this being an online class. The syllabus, the course calendar. What I would recommend is just start at the top and just patiently read down through everything. One feeling you might get when you read it is, wow, there's a lot of information here to absorb and there's a lot to do. I think it looks like there's more to do because I'm literally spelling out every step of the course. But if you carefully start at the top and read your way down through, you'll learn a lot. And then meantime, when you get to the calendar, just kind of slowly and patiently work your way down. And once you get the pattern in your mind, sort of the mind memory of what's going on, then it'll get real easy, I promise. It's got contact info for me on there, things like paper assignment instructions, the discussions. You can learn about how to participate in those. You can check your grades, of course. Now, big note here, PowerPoint slides and notes are not available. We find when we provide that sort of information in a face-to-face environment or online, then people just don't participate really in a lot of the material. And so we want you to watch those lectures and listen and just take notes just like in a normal class, and to read and to take those quizzes. Course requirements, and again, this is all in the syllabus. Total possible points for the course, 680. I know that's a little weird, but I couldn't figure out a way to round it up to 700 or something, so it's 680. You'll take 3 exams at 100 points each, 50 multiple choice questions per exam for 300 points. All that information is on the syllabus about how you will do this online through an outfit called ProctorU. You need to register with those guys. I would do it right away. it's something you can't do right before you take the exam, and then you'll be scheduling your exam time that you will take that exam. You will take, or you will produce 3 papers, and I will have all kinds of information for you on that in Canvas, 50 points each for 150 points. Every module, and there are 7 modules during the class, has a discussion session with worth 10 points each for a total of 70 points. And then, as I've mentioned, there's weekly readings and then quizzes on those readings. So there's really 2 quizzes per chapter reading. There's a quiz that you take before you've even read. It's called a learning curve, or an LC. That's all described in the syllabus. And that pedagogically, they say that kind of sets up your brain to really know what to be paying attention to in the reading. And then you'll do a post-reading quiz to see how you did. And in each case, you can take them over and over again until you get the best score you want. You just have to get it done before the deadline for those quizzes as listed in the syllabus. Now note that, and this is a state mandate, it's not something I came up with, but you've got to submit all 3 papers by the due dates and complete all 3 exams to get above a D in this class, no matter how many points you have. Sometimes people will kind of game the system and say, all I want is a C, so I'm only going to take, say, the first 2 exams, I've got enough points. If you don't take all 3 exams and do all 3 papers, you can't get better than a D in the class. And this is really to force people to learn the material and to work on their writing, which is a state mandate. Study tips, pretty basic stuff here. Keep up with the online lectures and the readings. Don't get behind so you're having to cram things in. What's on PowerPoint in those presentations is really important. Probably the most important. Most of my exam questions come out of PowerPoint slides. But in the readings, for instance, pay attention to the headlines. Like what are they saying is a really big deal in the reading, and you might want to know that. Pay attention to what's bolded in the texts. What are they repeating? What am I talking about as well in the lectures that's repeated out of the book? And that's really the important thing. I mean, I think little kind of trivial things down in the book. Hey, what was it? What were they talking about on the page, at the bottom of page 312? I'm really going to try not to do that to you. So it's more the main things. And then take notes, be strategic about that, so it'll help you study. Again, pay attention to what's being emphasized and repeated, and then review all your notes for the big picture. What do you think is going on? And you do all that, and you should do pretty well. So really, that's all I've got for this introductory lecture. Go ahead and, like I said, read the chapter 1 out of the book. But the bottom line, let's move ahead and let's learn. I think you're going to enjoy this course. It's a lot of fun.